Okay, we're almost done with the top of the iPhone. The next thing we're going to do is go to our top view. Oop. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I'm going to zoom into this point right here. So here's our button. We need to add those little squares to our button here. So I'm going to make a new sketch on this top face right here. And here's our circle. I'm going to grab my rectangle tool and I'm just going to draw a rectangle right here. And I'm going to dimension this rectangle. So I'm going to choose this side and it's going to be 0.15. And this side is also going to be 0.15. And I'm going to dimension this thing around my center point of my circle because I want this square to be right in the center of my circle. So I'm going to grab this corner right here. Well, actually, let's do the bottom. The bottom corner, click it, and then click the center point and move your mouse down. And we're going to make this 0.15 divided by 2. And then I'm going to click this corner and the center point and bring it this way this time. And I'm going to do 0.15 divided by 2. Now we've got it centered. Now we're going to make a fillet on these edges because it's kind of a rounded corner. So I'm going to hit fillet. And I'm going to make the fillet 0.03. And I'm going to click on my corners here. Okay, so now we've got the basic shape here. I'm going to offset this, so click offset right up here. And I'm going to click this and pull it down. And I'm going to dimension this from this line to this line. So however far these two are apart. And I'm going to make this 0.03. Whoop. Sorry about that, that wasn't what we wanted. 0.015 I think is what we want. Yes, 0.015 is the distance between this. Okay, so now we've got that thing down. Click Finish Sketch and zoom out a little bit. And what I want to do now is emboss. This is a new one. What this does is instead of extruding, which cuts straight into something, this is going to cut at an angle or at a curve. So it's going to cut this thing perfectly around this little curved area. So I'm going to hit emboss and I'm going to choose this as my profile, this outer rim. You don't want to choose this and you don't want to choose the middle. You want to choose this little ring that we created. So go ahead and click that and I'm going to choose this, which means engrave from face, and my depth I want to make 0.000001, so 5 zeros and a 1. And then we're going to click OK. And it won't look like anything happened, but you can actually, if you hover your mouse over here, this thing has been cut into our object here. So what I'm going to do is make sure that my rim is selected, this thing right here. I'm going to right click this and go to Properties, and I'm going to choose a different color to make this. I'm going to choose white flat. Then I'm going to go back to my home view, and now we've got a little white flat key right there. So that's how that's how we make the key. Okay, now we're going to work our way around the phone. Let's start from the bottom, and I'm just going to go around counterclockwise. So go to your front view, and we're going to make the little holes in the bottom here. So I'm going to click on this face right here, which is this one on the very far end. I'm going to click on that face, create a new sketch, go to my front view, and we're going to make the few holes that are in the bottom here. We got 2 speakers. Well, we have a speaker and a mouth, our microphone, and then we have the charge dock hole as well. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to start making the speaker. So I'm going to hit my rectangle and I'm going to come up here. Make sure you don't lock onto anything. Make sure you're free. I'm just going to make a rectangle right here, and I'm going to dimension it. And the length of this thing is 0.26. And the height of this thing is 0.03. Whoop. 0.06, sorry. Okay, and this thing is going to be centered. So let's find out what this is. This one is 0.24. I'm just going to accept this for now. And this is 0.06. So I'm going to dimension from this corner of my rectangle right there to this line right here. And I'm going to make it 0.24 divided by minus 0.06 and then divided by 2. So that ended up being 0.09, so you can just dimension from here to here as 0.09. That's perfectly fine. And the distance is going to be the distance from here to the outer edge. So I'm going to click on this line right here, and then on this line right here. Whoop. Let me project the geometry really quick of this line right here. Okay, so I just clicked this so there's a yellow line. I'm going to dimension this again. Click this line and then this line right here. And the distance is going to be 0.41. Alright. Here we go. Now we can, or one more thing that I want to do is fillet these edges, and then we're going to mirror this to the other side. The radius of the edges are going to be 0.03, the same as we had before. So I'm going to click this, then this edge, then this edge, and this corner, so that we got those rounded. Okay, this next part is we're going to create this on the other side. So I'm going to grab my rectangle tool, and I'm going to zoom in on this just a little bit so I can see it a little better. Okay, now the rectangle, or this old drawing, locked right onto our yellow line here. So I'm going to lock onto the yellow line here, and what I want to do is you can either use the same dimensions that we used before, or you can lock onto the top of your rectangle. See how there's a dotted line going? But you don't want to go here. You're locking onto something else here. You want to make sure that the dotted line is locking straight onto the rectangle. So you follow the rectangle down to the other side, lock onto that yellow line, but right now I'm a little too low. Make sure that you're looking at this thing very closely. And make sure that you're locking onto the top of the rectangle. So I'm going to click, and I'm going to drag this out until I lock onto the other side. So I'm locking onto the other side of the rectangle, making sure that this thing is locked on both sides. Just like that. In fact, if you want to bring this all the way over just to make sure that it's in the right place, you're welcome to do that. Click. Now our old rectangle was 0.26, so I'm going to dimension this top line right here as 0.26. Okay, and it flew over to the left because it's all set. And then our fillets here were 0.03, so I'm going to change this fillet to 0.03, and I'm going to round these edges right here. Whoops, 0.03, 0.03, and this one, and this one. Alright. Now we're going to put our charging dock hole, so I'm going to grab my rectangle again, and this time I don't want to lock onto anything. So come up here so that there's no dotted lines, click and make a rectangle, and don't lock onto anything. I'd even bring it all the way down here, this is fine. Okay, and I'm going to dimension this, so this line right here This top one right here is going to be 0.85, and this length right here is going to be 0.1. Oh, 0.1. And the distance from here to here, and this is like overlapping here, but don't worry, just find one. You can either dimension this to here or you can dimension it to here, whichever it's farther away from. I'm going to dimension this line to this point right here. I'm going to lock onto the very top of this circle right here. And this distance is 0.1. And the distance here between the, let's say the bottom line here and the yellow line right here, this distance is going to be 0.07. Alright, very nice. And then we're going to fill up the corners of this rectangle, 0.02. So this one's going to be 0.02, 0.02, 0.02, and 0.02. So these are all going to be 0.02. Okay. Finish your sketch and go ahead and go to extrude, and I'm going to extrude these three parts right here. So I'm going to hit this one, and this one, and I'm going to go to my home view so I can see what's going on here. Right now it's creating material. What we want to do is cut this in, and we're going to cut it in 0.02. So make it 0.02, and we're going to go in the other direction, direction 2. So it's cutting into it. Go ahead and click OK. And we've got our three holes right here. And we're going to change the colors to all these in a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and save my project. And go ahead and save this iPhone 4. I'm going to go ahead and save mine 4.2. I named mine 2 because I've already got something called iPhone 4 in my folder, so I don't want to overwrite it. Alright, so save your item. Save often. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is extrude this piece right in just a little bit further. So I'm going to click on this, because these go in about 0.02, but this one goes in a lot further. I'm going to create a sketch on this face right here, this like whole face, and then click Finish Sketch. It's automatically going to draw a yellow line here. I'm going to extrude this, and I'm going to go direction 2, and I'm going to make this go in 0.05. No, sorry, 0.5. Because our charge dock is going to go in right here. I'm going to click OK. And so now our charging dock has a larger or deeper extrusion than these ones do. I'm going to go ahead and color these faces as well as the face of my my earpiece. I'm going to click on this and hold Control and click on this next one so that they're both blue. And I'm going to go to my home view, and I'm going to zoom in on my little head speaker here, or not speaker, but yeah, I think it is a speaker, yes. Hold Control and click this one too, so we got all three of them lit up blue. Okay, now go back to any one of them, make sure that you're on top of the blue so it's highlighted, right click and go to Properties, and I'm going to choose my color style as Expanded Metal 4. Click OK. Now right now the expanded metal does not look very good because it's on a very large scale. But if I go up here to As Material, click As Material, go down to Color Styles at the bottom here, and I'm going to choose, hold on, click Done. I'm going to change my iPhone to black right now by choosing Color Styles Black, and I'm going to go to, actually not black, I'm just going to choose regular gray. I know that it's black. I'm going to change it black in the end, but I'm just going to choose gray right now. Okay, click this gray again and go to Color Styles. And I'm going to choose, let's see, Expanded Metal 4. And I'm going to choose Texture here. And I'm going to make the scale way smaller. I'm going to move it down until it's 10%, and I'm going to go a little bit lower than that. I think I'm going to go to about 7 or 6. Yeah, 6 is good. So make it 6%. You can use this down here. Click Done and click Yes for saving edits. And so now we've got a little speaker here. Looks like a speaker anyway, and so does the top here. So that's how you create a texture for the speaker.